Leadership has privileges. Leadership is power. If we need to remind ourselves, those reflect the title. They don't reflect me, the person. And one way to think about that is challenging oneself with the question, who am I when there's no one else in the room? When the title doesn't matter? When there is no deferential treatment? Secondly, it's acknowledging, okay, this role is not me, Lord. It's simply what you've asked me to do. And who you've asked me to be, Lord, is far more important than what you have asked me to do. And then lastly, I'll say this, and that is reminding oneself, embrace the role fully, but hold it loosely. How am I stewarding that role so that what I pass along is better than what I was given? When we're not differentiating in a healthy way, our colleagues and constituents oftentimes experience us in leadership as egocentric. We're self-driven, self-motivated, as opposed to mission-driven or mission-motivated. Also, in terms of there will be that day that you pass that role on to somebody else, you no longer have that title. When you do that, will you lose your self-worth? When, in my case, I'll humbly say I served as a president of a university for 10 years. And I realized that in that context, I need to be even more intentional, even more deliberate in cultivating my relationship with the Lord. It's in that context, I think, where we often find humility. We're often challenged in ways that are humbling. I try to remind myself to cultivate what I call habits of humility. And when asked what I did, as a president, I tried to never respond by saying, I am the president of this university. I would remind myself to respond by saying, I serve as the president of this university. Next, I would say, and this is important, identify and cultivate one or two very close relationships of accountability. Individuals who can be the one who you will hear. And ideally, that accountability partner is somebody who has a similar reservoir of experience and can speak to you out of similar circumstances, out of similar challenges of what leadership is, what it needs to be. And another very simple thing to do is ask yourself the question, do people experience me any differently, whether they're a constituent or whether it's my grandchild? It's a way of challenging oneself to be the same person, no matter who you are, where you are, no matter what the context or circumstances are. And again, it kind of minimizes the prominence of the title as part of your identity.